In this video, I'm going to talk about Amma, the hugging saint, as she's known globally, or simply the mother by her many followers and devotees from all across the world. And we're going to look at the astrology chart of Amma so we can see whether there are signs for when somebody has divinely ordained powers and divinely ordained capabilities like Amma does. So that's what we're going to do in this video. And we're also going to see where these powers come from, because all of that we can see in the astrology. So let's go. So Amma is known as a guru, as a saint who has touched the lives of millions of people quite literally, because she is a person who shares her presence and shares her gifts with others through a particular type of service where there is ritual, there's ceremony, there's presence, but at the center of it is her hugging people, quite literally hugging people. And she has, touched really millions of people. If we see on her website, this is her herself, you can see her, and you can see the presence that she radiates, which is quite special. And she says here, her name, her birth name is said here as well, actually Mata Amrit Anandamai, but known simply as Amma, which means mother in the South Indian languages. And Amma, she has embraced and comforted more than 40 million people, which is quite a feat if you think about it, even just from a logistic perspective. It is quite an accomplishment. But if you have had the pleasure of having that experience, then you will know that it's not just a hug. Everybody needs a hug, you can say, but this is a real spiritual experience if you're open for it. Especially, I had this experience myself now 12 years ago, which was for me an important time, around 2012, which is when I had my awakening of sorts. Now, when I look back at it, and now that I understand the levels and layers and steps of mystic initiation, I know that that was my process of moving from the second to the third initiation. But be that as it may, at the time when I had the experience, it was really something, as if something opened up, as if something fell and something opened up, and blockages or things that are hindering you in your life energetically, they fall away. And she has that power. She has that power of sharing that all-embracing love, which is the motherly love, but which is a universal motherly love, really, right? And the chart, her astrology chart, is very interesting when we look at it. And obviously it's got to show this. So I was interested in finding out what can we see in the charts, right? So let's have a look here. The first thing is to say that there's actually some confusion around the exact time and date, because there's some guy who came and said that this time, 27 September, is not correct. This is the time which is given in her, in her organization, but some guy came and said that this is not correct. But I checked both of the charts, and this chart is absolutely correct. It could not be more correct, right? This 27th September chart is you will see yourself. You will see yourself, right? So when I get there, when I tell you, because, we've got just everything in this chart points towards a divine gift of a higher type of love that this person is here to share, right? So I'm going to show you how and where. Well, on the face of it, we've got kind of on a surface level, right? Or on the entry level reading, right? We've got the sun in 11 with the moon in 7, right? Which is the center, and the sun is a Libra, right? So sharing beauty for the collective and the group, and having this kind of one-on-one emotional relationship with people, right? It's the moon in 7, right? And then we've got the Neptune, the trine, the Jupiter, which is, you find this often with saintly people, because there is the faith, which is Jupiter, goes very smoothly and harmoniously with the higher intuitions. And you find this for people who have a direct connection with the angelic realms. There is this Jupiter Neptune trine or in a good relationship. But, these are the kind of easy to read things. What's really stands out is once you add the asteroids, right? Because the asteroids tell you so much deeper story than you'd otherwise be able to get, and the stars, of course, as well, right? Okay, so let's take a closer look here. And we want to look at the moon, obviously, right? Because moon stands for the motherhood, right? She's the mother, she's Amma, so moon has to somehow be very strong here, right? Or be very special. And obviously, yes, it's in the 7th house, so it's looking at others. But what can the stars and asteroids tell us? And we've got the moon exactly on the star Alcyon, as you can see here. Alcyon, that's a royal fixed star. It makes everything much more important. It gives it global importance. It makes things famous. It makes things rise up. And it's on the asteroid Cybele. You see here Cybele. Cybele is literally the Anatolian mother goddess, right? It's the asteroid that stands for the mother goddess. So we've got here the important mother goddess, right? And what else is here constellated? It's here, this asteroid, because oppositions and conjunctions are what counts for asteroids only, right? For stars and asteroids, only look at oppositions and conjunctions. And we've got here exact oppositions to Parvati. Parvati obviously is the mother goddess, right? So the wife, Shiva's wife, but also, in her capacity as the universal mother goddess. So we've got 2 times the Greek mother goddess and the Indian mother goddess, Cybele and Parvati, on moon on Alcyon, right? So conjunct or opposite moon on Alcyon. So we have the mother, right? The energy of the mother goddess, which is elevated to great fame and which directs itself towards others in the one-on-one, in the 7th house, right? What else do we got? The sun is with Vibhuti. You see here, Vibhuti, asteroid Vibhuti, which stands for the powers that are attained through overcoming the ego, right? And we have Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal also stands for love. It's a symbol of love. You have to think archetypically, symbolically. It was built literally to be a monument for love, right? So the sun is with Vibhuti and Taj Mahal, right? So this is her personality. And now we've got here Venus. You see Venus? Venus is here in the 11th with Mars. So Venus, Mars together makes the person makes her, her loving energy or her charming energy very direct, right? It can really very quickly and directly attract people. People with Mars-Venus conjunctions are very attractive usually as well, right? Very kind of magnetic and electrically attractive. And this attractive energy is with, you see here, is on Regulus. Regulus is another fixed star. It makes things important and grand and noble. It gives nobility to things. And it's with Ceres. You see here, Ceres. Ceres is another mother goddess, is another mother energy, right? Is mother energy again. And then we have the asteroid Mahakala. Mahakala as well. Mahakala stands for the overcoming of ego. Yes, is also is an aspect of Shiva and stands for Lord Shiva and stands for the overcoming of ego, right? The overcoming of ego. So we have here again Mother Goddess Ceres and Mahakala on Regulus, on Mars and Venus together, right? So we have here, what does that mean? The extremely charming energy, the charming energy that can express itself very directly through her actions, right? Through her hands, quite literally, right? Through her hands. And it carries in itself the divine mother energy and the power to break down and overcome the ego, right? So all of this is written in the chart. And this is not even all, right? This is not even all. It's really quite telling when you look at the charts of the, the real saints or the real people who have achieved a lot of realization, it's really telling, because this is not a process that happens in one lifetime. It's not a process that you can do in one lifetime, right? It takes many lifetimes to get to that level of realization, which is why the chart shows the previous work that was done in the previous lifetimes, right? In this lifetime, you can always, attain, and you can always do things, but there's certain things that set your parameters, and that's set by your previous lifetimes, and that's what's written in your chart, right? You can't change those in this lifetime. At least it's going to take you several lifetimes to change. Now, as I said, this is not even all yet. There's still more in her chart. So when we look back at her chart, I have here more asteroids, right? Because there wasn't enough space for all of those. So on her north node, we have here north node Rahu. Rahu is where what you're supposed to manifest in this lifetime, right? What you're supposed to manifest, right? You have also, typically, things are easier to manifest around where Rahu is, right? And this is with Amikya, right? Which stands for friendship and, friendly love. And Cupid. Cupid is another asteroid that stands for love. Cupid is the Eros. Cupid is the one who shoots the arrows of love, right? In the Greek mythology. So Amikya and Cupid on her Rahu, on her north node. Again, 2 times written here that she's destined to manifest love, right? Destined to manifest love. And what else do we got? When we look here on top, you see here, you can see this. We have here her Uranus in the 9th. So Uranus in the 9th and in Cancer. So she is the, somewhat unconventional, somewhat also rebellious, you can say, because she's doing things differently and in her own way. She's not necessarily following an established path or an established school. And she is the somewhat revolutionary, right, leader of a spiritual group, which is 9 and Cancer. And this Uranus, it stands with the asteroids. You see Bharat, Eros, Demeter, and Mahalingam, right? So Bharat is India. So her spiritual group is based in India. It comes from India, right? We got Eros. Eros is another asteroid that stands for love. Literally all the asteroids that have anything to do with love in her chart are standing on prominent positions. All of them, right? Because here's also a star, the star Procreon. I didn't put this in here right now, but that's on 24 Cancer, which stands for being a messenger for God. This is here, the star Procreon, right? This is where these constellation here is, where all of these planets are, right? So this community is supposed to be a messenger for God, send a message for God, right? And you got Demeter here. Demeter is Ceres, is the mother goddess, again, the mother goddess. And you got Bharat, so it's India, and you got Mahalingam. Mahalingam is another aspect of Shiva, right? And again, stands for the power of Shiva, right? The power of overcoming the ego, burning away the ego, right? So it's so clear, this chart is so clear. It's like, it's absolutely, it's tremendous. It's magnificent if you look at this, how clear this chart is, right? And you only have this detail, this level of detail, when you add the asteroids and the fixed stars like I just did, right? Otherwise, you will miss all of this. But when you have this, you can see that she is a manifestation of the power and of the energy of the divine mother goddess, Devi Mata. And her role is to help others through her darshan, through her sharing, to overcome and break down the barriers of ego that are holding them back. And she's doing that through her love that she's sharing. And all of that is written in the chart. And again, as I said, in order for somebody to attain this level of power, this level of ordained energies that they have access to and that they can use in their mission, this is going to take several lifetimes to get there. This is not something that you can do if you in one lifetime decide to be this and to pursue this path, but you can always start, and there's always a time to start. So I hope that this is a useful and interesting insight for you. We're going to look at much more of these type of insights. We're going to look at other spiritual leaders and the good and the bad. I'm going to show you the ones who really had powers, divinely ordained powers, who had real siddhis or real also gifts that were divine. And I'm going to also show you the ones who were charlatans and the ones who, they were misusing maybe powers. We're going to see that through the charts. So make sure to subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on X. I'm active now on X. I just started to be active, but I'm going to be very active there. So follow me on there as well. Like this video so we can get more people to share and to see. And be well. I wish you all the best. Be blessed.